Not the run.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Danny P. Welcome to the Raw and the Real podcast. This is episode 1. We about to get it going. It's about to be a crazy show. I just want to thank everyone that's been sharing and liking these videos, watching these videos. I hope you enjoy this journey that I'm going on. I'm just sharing my journey, you guys, and it's just been wonderful experience. It's been wonderful just training myself on how to do this stuff as well. And also it's been wonderful just studying, right? My study mode and what I'm doing is just awesome, man. So I really appreciate you guys. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And also, you guys, man, make sure you leave a comment, man. Make sure you leave a comment at the bottom. I mean, in the chat, just say you here. It doesn't matter. Just leave a comment. It kind of helps everything when it comes down to algorithms and YouTube. So just leave a comment. Say, hey, Danny, say what's up, or I hate you. Either way, it's fine. I don't care. Either way, it's fine. But we're gonna get right to it, man. So the raw and the real. I'm going to give it to you real funky, and it doesn't matter what it is. So this episode 1, it's called I Ain't Shit. And you ain't it shit either. And the reason why I chose this is just because I ain't shit. Listen. I'm going to be up here talking about some real stuff, and I'm not anything. I'm not nothing special. Myself, I have major flaws as a husband, major flaws as a father, major flaws as a friend, and I'm just here to tell you my experience and my journey and why I'm trying to change. I'm trying to change that. Right. And if you watch the intro, you can kind of see my journey and why I decided to do the podcast and how I got here. I introduced my family. So go make sure you go back there and look at the intro. You can find out who I am and where I'm at. Right. But some of the things about the intro, it was a lot of in between stories. And so we're going to get to that, some of that today. Right, but really it's going to be reflected on who I am, right? So in my marriage, I just thought I was doing all the right things, right? I was making a lot of money. I remember having like bundles of cash in my house. You all, like, we could do whatever. When we got my wife's shop, it was instant. It didn't take a second to think about. So we had things in order, that wealth and all that stuff Kevin Samuels talk about. You got to be in shape, you got to do this, you got to do that. I wasn't in shape, but the other things, the protecting and providing, I thought I was doing. That's the stuff I was doing, right? The Fashion Fit podcast would talk about that. So just that alpha male red pill. The red pill means like it's an alpha male movement, just like it's a feminist movement, and the alpha male movement is this called the red pill. So I thought I was doing all these things right, and we've gotten into a frustrating part in our relationship. I mean, I think it's been frustrating a lot because it's just human beings battling against each other, right? So I'm like, dude, I'm doing all this. I'm not doing this. I'm not cheating actively anymore, right? I'm not uh out here entertaining all these different things. I'm just working hard for my family, blah, 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 blah. And she treat me like this. And so I told God, I confronted God with this situation. I'm just like, look, dog, I'm not about to be this good guy no more. I'm not about to do none of this godly stuff. I don't care about church. I don't care about all this stuff. I don't care. I'm not about to do any of this stuff no more if I'm not getting what I want from my wife. I'm like, what I'm doing all this for? I'm about to go find somebody else to entertain me in this way. That was I literally had that conversation with God. I was like, look, dog, you got to 8:00 in the morning to answer me. I'm talking about 8:00 in the morning. I didn't have nobody lined up, but I had some lined ups in my head that I was going to text and call. I was going to shoot my shot. I was about to shoot my shot. I'm telling you, I was about to shoot my shot. 8:00 in the morning, everybody shot. If you thought I wanted you, you was gonna know at 8:00 in the morning that next day. And so when I confronted God with that, I said, answer me by 1:00. I mean 8:00 in the morning. The man answered me right away. I'm talking about within minutes and seconds, because I was at a point where I surrendered. Me confronting him, I was surrendering. I was like, either you're going to give me the answers or I'm just about to do what I want to do. I'm about to let the world have me, essentially. And so if you have an answer, tell me. So anyway, the first thing he did was put a mirror in my face. And so when he put that mirror in my face, he was like, who are you to deny my daughter love? And you're sinning every day. You know exactly what I want from you, and I still love you. So at that moment, you all, the action that I took when he said that to me and I heard it clearly, I started fasting and praying, right? And then I instantly started loving my wife differently. That moment, it was the beginning of October 2021. And at that moment, it was positive change in my household. I started loving my wife like Christ loved the church, right? And it's just positive change. And so I was at peace at that moment. I was at peace, because I'm just loving her. And she's seeing this change in me. She has no idea. This was a late night situation. I was crying by myself at this desk. And so she has no idea why I changed, but I just changed. And so we went to a counseling session like 2 weeks later, you all. We went to a counseling session 2 weeks later. And the counselor was like, hey, you all, how's everything going? We're like, oh, everything's great. Boom, 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 right? And then she asked the question. She said, so rate your relationship right now, 1 to 10. This is fun. I'm laughing to myself because this is funny. My wife says it's 8. Sarah says it's an 8. I almost flipped my chair. I was like, what? It's an 8? She was like, it's an 8. And she was very clear on how she felt. And I was shocked because I'm like, it's a 2. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't, you know, it's not everything. In my mind, it was a 2. You know, I know I changed, but just that little change made a world of difference for her to tell the counselor that is at 8, you all. So I'm on the high horse now. I'm like, yo, I'm doing, look, I'm on the road. I'm like, yeah, we on the move. We on the move, Danny. Yes. You done changed your circumstance. You like your wife feeling good. She was making me feel good. So I just kept on going. But in the midst of this journey, you all of fasting and praying, God's love, the true love, not this feeling. This is why I say I ain't shit and you ain't shit. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. Is because God's love is totally different. Okay. It's sacrificial. You have to sacrifice yourself. You understand what I'm saying? It- Jesus got on the cross for you. He had all the power in the world. He could listen, he got on the cross for you. So God's love is different. Trust me, it's different. This is the reason why I'm building you up so you can understand what happened next. This is I don't think any man would do this. So God made me write down everything I did to my wife since we've been together. Listen, write down everything you did to your wife since you've been together. So I had to sit. I was at this desk. You listen. I'm at this desk writing all these things down. This is after this counseling session of me getting an 8. So I'm writing all these sins down that I've done. And he said, next counseling session, you have to confess to her all these things you have done. Oh my God. Listen to me. I've been with my wife since 2006. It's 2021. In the midst of all this, I was always a football player. I always was pretty decent as a football player. Most of this time, I was in great shape. I joined a fraternity and I played football. and I'm a party promoter. So you can just imagine some of the things I had to confess to my wife since we were dating. Since we were dating. So so I get to this counseling session and I'm not feeling as good as you know, you know, my wife was. So I get here and we get closer to the end. I said, "Hey, you guys, I have to say something." And God just told me to confess everything I have done to you since we've been together. And I went down the list. I went down the list of all the things I mean, texting girls. It didn't even have to do with if I actually cheated. I mean, I'm talking about texting, almost, coulda, shoulda, woulda, all these situations now I'm putting out there. And if you remember, y- what was that? Abraham had to put put Isaac on the bring him to the altar. Uh, and God just wanted to test and see how how much I believed in what he was telling me, right? So I had to sacrifice my relationship. I had to bring it to the altar. Take it. I took my wife who thought my relationship was an 8 and I put her on the altar and I had the knife ready and I was about to stab her. And I did. I would say it was surgical. It wasn't stab. I told her all these things, you all, and I had to confess all these things that I did. to my wife. And this is scripture. I just want to, sorry, I didn't want to read it, but I do want to read it because uh I it's one of the favorite prayers that I read in The Power of a Praying Husband. It's the first one, but it gives you power tools, and this is a scripture that it gives you. Confess your trespasses to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The effective, fervent prayer of the righteous man avails much. And that just reminds me of when I had to confess to my wife about everything I done. And then that brings me to the next step. Like, what happened after that, Danny? Yeah. Basically, you can imagine my relationship was like, it's crazy. It's turmoil, right? Here was the challenge from God for me. It was a love challenge, and not love the way we think of it as men now. Okay. I was already doing that. I was already protecting and providing in my head. This is a love challenge to me. So I had a conversation with God at that moment. He asked me, he goes, so how many years you and your wife, it's a rhetorical question, of course, because he knows. How many years you and your wife been together? I said 16 years. He said it might take you that long to get what you want from your wife. It maybe even take double of that. You might not even get what you want from your wife for 32 years. Y'all don't understand. Listen, he said, love your wife as he loves the church. This is one of the first things he tells. So he said, I might not get what I want from my wife for another 16 years now. If not, maybe double. And he said, it doesn't matter what she has done in the past or what she is going to do. Your job is to love her like I love her. Listen, hey, listen. Look. Come on, man. Come on, man. I can't do that. Like, me personally, I was hoping, look, after I had confessed, I was hoping he would let me go. Like, he would tell her, like, let him go. He ain't no good. He ain't shit. Let him go. I was hoping. Look. I thought it was going to be peaceful. Look, trust me. But he told me, he said, how long you been together? 16 years? Oh, it's going to take you twice of that. And it doesn't matter what she has done to you. And it doesn't matter what she's going to do. Your job is to love her regardless. Look, oh man, you listen. I thought no. I was like, nope, not me. But of course, I was fasting and praying. So I was like, listen, okay, I'm with it. So it actually brought me peace, you all. It brought me peace because I don't have to worry about this list of stuff that I want from my wife. I don't even think about this list because it doesn't even matter because it's what God, listen, at this point, I gave it up. I was like, man, this list don't even matter. What I feel I don't have, what I feel I want, don't even matter. I had to give that up to him. I already put it on the cross. I put it on the altar. It's over. Now, your job is just to love her regardless. And I just want to bring up this video because it kind of summarized why I hate the fact that we think as human beings that love is an emotion and not an action. Love is an action. Love is a choice. You wake up every day to love. You have to make a conscious decision to do that. And you have to show it. You have to show love. It's not a feeling. You got to show it through your actions. Just as Christ loved the church. He's carried the cross all the way up the hill, hung on the cross for you. So what you think you're going to have to do for your wife or for your husband? What you think you're going to have to do? At least do that. At least. So I listen, I can stay on this all day because this is where I'm at, right? This is where I'm at. I had to challenge myself on how to love because I wasn't loving the way Christ loved the church. So I want y'all to this video that I found on social media kind of explains it and quickly what love really means, right? So
when you watch too many movies, love is not a feeling. When you're watching too many movies, I feel something. That's not love. Because let me tell you, love is what you do in spite of what you feel. Love is fighting for the good of someone else, even if they never see the value or the sacrifice that you did to get love to them. Love is what Jesus did on that cross. And love didn't feel good. He wasn't on the cross about, man, this is so refreshing. Man, way they put that nail in there. Boy, oh man. Love sometimes hurts. We don't understand the depth of the love that we are recipients of.
So, love is not a feeling. Love hurts. Love does not feel good. So when God gives you a challenge, you all, to say, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. That means he surrendered his whole mind, body, and soul just for the church. So that's what you have to do for your wife. Ooh, listen. That's what you have to do for your wife. So it brings me, I also want to take it to a point. It's another scripture, and I'm just going to paraphrase it, right? But if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And it goes on, you all, but we're going to go down to 35 and 36. And I just want you, but love your enemies, do good and lend, hoping for nothing in return, and your reward will be great. 36, you all. Therefore, be merciful, just as your Father also is merciful. So love is not something that you give and expecting it back. This is what the alpha male movement is telling you. You got to do this so you can get something back. This is what all these other books are telling you. Hey, do this so you can get something back. But that's not the love of God. That's not true love. Love is an action, regardless of what you're getting back. Regardless of what you're getting back, you have to love and be merciful, just like Christ was merciful, just like God. I'm telling you, it's crazy. This is where Danny is right now in his marriage. And Trust me, I have to get there first. And this is not, I'm not perfect. I'm actively, I just want to show you. I'm actively trying to love. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this ain't something that comes natural. You just can't carry across and get to it, and let yourself get up there. You got to embody it. So I want to give a real life example of what that looks like. I remember being in GRCC, that's Grand Rapids Community College. I played football there. And there was this guy named Wante. He went to Muskegon. Not Muskegon, McKenzie High School in Detroit. A lot of us was from Detroit. And so I went to Farmington High School. But anyway, so he was just like irking me like all the time. He was always in my ear trying to provoke me to do something. And at that time, I was strong spiritually. I did not take in music. I was studying the Bible constantly. And then I got to the scripture where we just left, right? In Luke 6, 6:35. Love your enemies, right? And so God, after I read that scripture, God told me to confront Wante, right? To confront him. And it doesn't matter what he tries to do not entertain it. And in my head, at that time, I thought, like, if he hits me or punches me, I'm just supposed to take it. And trust me, I wasn't, no, you know what I'm saying? I'm about that life. But where I was at in that moment spiritually, I had enough strength to just obey God at that moment. And so next time I saw him at the practice field, we go up this hill, we go to practice. I saw him. I put down my stuff, threw down my stuff, and I just went up to him strong. I was like, look, dog, it doesn't even matter what you do to me. It doesn't matter what you do to me. I'm going to love you regardless. I'm not going to let you get me down off this cross or off this rock that I'm on. And it was a saying that my mom used to say. So I told him, I'm going to love you regardless. And at that moment, what you think happened, right? Put in the comments what you think happened. What you think happened at that moment? This is I would call him bully, but he wasn't bullying me, but he was nitpicking. He was trying to get me to go there. This is a real life example. This is the reason why it's easy for me to act in love with my wife now, and I understand it. And it's so crazy because it's 30 years, it's 2003, 20 years, 20 years later that this is coming in the full circle. But from that point on, Wante would go out his way to say hi to me. If I was on the other side of a stadium and I came into the stadium, he would see me and be like, yo, Danny, come over here. Like, hey, man, this is my mom. From that point on, that's what happened. We never had an issue ever again. So that's how God love work. But how do you get love? How do you get there? Like, what does that even mean? Like, Danny, how do you even get to that point? And I broke it down in an acronym, right? How do you get to God's love? Like the way God really wants you to love? Loyalty, obedience, vividly, and have enthusiasm. And what does that mean? Right? You have to show loyalty to God through your obedience. That will allow you to see vividly what God is telling you so that you can have enthusiasm for him. I don't know how I came over this. I'm not a preacher. I was just at a moment and I realized like how to get to love. L.O.V.E. It doesn't come through us. It's not a feeling, it's an action. But how do you really take on these actions? You have to show your loyalty to God through your obedience. What is loyalty? Loyalty is a strong feeling of support or allegiance. You have to be loyal to God, and you show your loyalty through your obedience. What is obedience? Compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority. You have to show your loyalty through your obedience to Christ, to God. You would never get there. You would never get there if you don't do that, because we don't have it naturally. We expect something in return all the time. We think because we did something that we should get that back. You have to show loyalty to God through your obedience. Okay, Danny, I got that. Be obedient to God. That's how I get there. But why? Why do I do that? Okay. That will allow you to see vividly what God is telling you. That's why vivid. What is that? In a way that produces powerful feelings or strong, clear images in your mind. Your obedience will allow you to see vividly what God is trying to tell you. You can't see it if you don't have the loyalty and obedience. And when you see it clearly, when you get there, when you see it vividly, it's going to make it so easy. So easy for you to have enthusiasm for. Because the picture is clear. What is enthusiasm? Intense and eager enjoyment, happiness, that feeling, an interest or approval. Now you are doing things for God. You're loving your spouse. You're loving your friend. You're loving that person that's hard to love, not for yourself. Not for yourself, for an intense and eager enjoyment and interest or approval from God. I'm not a preacher. I'm just telling you. This is the book I'm at now. Loving People Who Are Hard to Love by Joyce Myers. And she explains that in some word, this is not her abbreviation, that's mine. But she is explaining this, right? And I just want to listen. How do you get to real love? And I'm keeping this on here because I want you guys to see this. I want you to understand. You have to show loyalty to God through your obedience. That will allow you to see vividly what God is trying to tell you so that you can have enthusiasm for him. This will help you love your wife the way that she's supposed to be loved. This will help you love your spouse the way that he is supposed to be loved. Just go to God. Just be loyal to him. Be obedient. He's going to show you clearly. He's going to allow you to see it, the things that it's hard to see when you in that valley, when you hurting. When I'm sitting here at this desk crying, telling them I'm about to leave. I'm about to let go of everything you telling me, God, because it doesn't make sense. Because I'm doing everything humanly possible to be good to this woman. And I don't feel it back. I gave it all up because I was loyal. I said, look, I'm going to give it to you. It's yours now. And whatever you tell me, I'm going to do because I don't have the answer. And when I started doing that, he started clearly showing me what that looks like. He told me. He gave me the answer. He said, it might take you 16 years. Now I don't have to worry. It might take me 16 years for me to get what I want from my wife. Now I don't have to worry. He gave me a vivid vision. I don't even have to think about what she does because he told me. He said, it doesn't matter what she has done or what she's going to do. Your job is to love her regardless. So at that moment, it don't even matter. He vividly showed me. That's why you see my enthusiasm the way it is right now. These steps, this acronym will allow you, show your loyalty to God, be obedient, and he will vividly show you what it is he's trying to say and trying to have you do so you can have that enthusiasm for God, for him. The reason why you loving your wife regardless, the husband regardless, is for him, not for you. Not for your wife. Your wife is not the benefit. You and him, this is a vertical relationship. I'm studying the word and I'm studying love for him because I want to love him. But I can't love him if I can't love this human being on earth. I can't even be a good friend if I'm not loving. If I'm not loving my wife, I can't be a good father. She comes first. My relationship with God comes first, and then it's her. She's the next. She's the most important person in my life. I can go out here and make as much money as I can in one. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything if I don't love my wife, if I don't service my wife. And you all, it's very simple. What's up, Raymond? What's up, dog? It's very simple, bro. It's very simple. In order to get to this love, you all, you have to allow God in. You have to allow God in, bro, because it's you cannot do it on your own because it's humanly impossible. We are not wired that way. We go to work to receive a paycheck. Okay. As a husband, I do dishes and take out the trash because I want some pussy. I want to get something, right? Just naturally, that's just how we wire. I want to get all this out the way so I can get something from my wife. There's a natural exchange of something in our being. But you can't do that and actually love someone. That means you loving the thing. You're not loving her. You're not loving him. You loving the reward that you get. Hey, I can go all day. But listen, we're about to end this episode. I've been going, and you can see my enthusiasm. You can see where I'm not perfect. I ain't shit, you all. I ain't shit. Okay. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. I have so many flaws. So many flaws. But the only way I was able to defeat some of these flaws at this point, I'm not, listen, I just got on this journey October 2021. Okay. The only way I was able to defeat some of these flaws is through my love that I gave to Christ. The loyalty, the obedience. And he was able to show me through my loyalty and obedience vividly what he wanted for my life. And that in turn gave me enthusiasm for him. And if you don't do that, you would never be able to really truly love someone in the way they need to be loved. I got all these books, you all, about love, and that's cool. But you have to put it into action. Love is an action word. Love is not a feeling. Love is what Christ did when he went and put himself on that cross. That was his love and grace and mercy for us. So this is what I want to put out there. Okay. This is what I want. So I want to put out there a love challenge. A love challenge until January 1st. We're going to hashtag it Love Right Now 2022. Right? We're going to love everyone, but especially husbands. I'm not even coming for the wives because it don't even matter. None of this matter. Wives, you can join. We're going to love one another the way that Christ loved the church until the end of the year. What does that mean? Like, how do I do that? First, I give you a tool. I give you two tools. All right. Power of a praying husband. They got one for the wife too. Okay. And it really doesn't matter. Go and study love. Christ, like godly love. Don't read Steve Harvey. Don't read none of these crazy books. I want you to, from this day on, I want you to study love and what it says for you to love as a Christian for a husband and for a wife, right? Whoever I'm talking to. But also just study love in general. But I'm telling you, it's going to be easy for you to love that father that's hard to love, that mother that's hard to love, that friend that's hard to love, that cousin that's hard to love. when you love in your household, when you're actively loving within your household. I'm not there yet. I'm just starting to understand what this love thing actually means. Um, but you have to proactively start attacking that. And this is the other thing I want you guys to do. Okay. It's this book called Love and Respect. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. I want you to get that book and read it because it's going to change your perspective, especially in relationships, on how you treat others and how you see them and what they do to you versus what the way you think as men and as women. Okay. So we're going to start this love challenge. Okay. Proactively get into the word of God or evolve yourself. It doesn't matter. Step away from all these other things that are taking you away from love and focus in on your love and your relationship with your wife, with your significant other. It doesn't matter. With your mother, it doesn't matter. Get into the word, however that takes you. If you just have to grab a book to help you, like I do, I had to grab a book because I don't know how to pray. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to love. So I had to grab these books so I can understand a little bit better how to do that. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. And it just lays out prayers for you. You know what I'm saying? And start really being unselfish in your actions. Stop thinking about what you can get from your relationship and start thinking about what you can give, regardless of what that person does to you. And I guarantee you, once you strip away this list of things that you have for your wife to do, and you take away those things and you replace it with what God has asked for you to do, you will have peace. You will have peace and enjoyment through your enthusiasm that you have for him. So I just want to thank you guys. I know it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. You got to stop listening to some of this music too. It's not going to be easy. But I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Ray, JW, thank you for the comments. Make sure you share my video, man. Like the video, subscribe. Um, we are on a journey together. I'm sharing with you my raw situations. Okay. And we're gonna get to the real, the truth. And my truth is the Bible and what that says compared to how I was feeling in my rawness of a human. So this is gonna be difficult, man. But hey, just remember, you know what I'm saying? This is episode 1. And I'm already talking about how I ain't shit. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just saying this because I don't want it's just raw. I don't care. I'm not a preacher. You understand what I'm saying? When I get convicted in other ways, I will. Right? I'm not trying to, but I ain't shit. I ain't shit. I have done. I can't even imagine how crazy. Listen, I have done some crazy stuff to my wife as a girlfriend and as a wife. I have done some crazy stuff to my friends. You understand what I'm saying? I I have been unloving to people for years because of the way I thought about love. And so that's why it's important to me because I'm starting to get peace the more I understand what love really is because I don't have to think about what my expectations are or what my feelings are. I just had to proactively work on me. And that's what being Christian really is all about. It's not about what you can, the things that you get from the book that you can point that somebody else is not doing. It's about the things that you can fix within yourself for your vertical relationship with God. So don't, as a Christian, your job is not to judge and not to point. Your job is to reflect upon yourself on what God is trying to tell you. And then put it to action. Be obedient. And so, man, I pray for you guys, man. I wish you luck on your love journey, right? This love challenge is happening. This love challenge is happening. I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna check in with people. Send me a message, right? Send me a message on Facebook. You know, you can find me, Danny Preston, or Instagram, wherever you follow me. Send me a message, man. Tell me, like, hey, I'm gonna do this love challenge. Love challenge 2022. Hey, look. Just love right now, man. Appreciate y'all. I ain't shit, and you ain't shit either. So episode 1. Hey, man, it's been wonderful, dog. It's the raw and the real. You know, where we get real funky, and we always gonna tell you the truth. So appreciate you guys for joining, man. Enjoy your day. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share this video, man. Let other people see it. See what your boy talking about. Peace and love.